Well, another red day for AMC, and it's really interesting to see how this thing is getting. I mean, the price action tells you everything you need to know when it comes to what is actually going on here with AMC in terms of the manipulation and the whole fugazi happening behind the scenes. You know why? Because it doesn't make any sense that on such bullish news that we just received, the stock is continuing to actually, it's closing down 4% today, because I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, either from the fundamental or the technical side of things. And here's why. We got some news this weekend around the continuous improvement of the bottom line, the fundamentals and the numbers of attendance on AMC. I mean, yesterday I shared with you that No Time to Die and Venom actually were setting new fresh records on the box office for AMC, not only in the US, but also overseas, especially in the UK. But now we do have almost 4 million people walking into AMC theaters here in the US and overseas over this past weekend, and this is the best market attendance since the pandemic. So we're going back to numbers even prior to the pandemic hitting. So it means one thing, actually two things. First, people are still getting out to go to movie theaters. Again, as I mentioned multiple times here on my channel, it's not because we have Uber Eats or DoorDash that it means people are gonna stop cooking at home. Two different sectors, two different things. So it's not because we have Netflix and all the streaming services and platforms that it necessarily mean that people are gonna stop going to the theaters, because I think the experience that you have going to a theater is totally different from just sitting at your couch watching a movie at your place. So the other thing it means for AMC is, well, the narrative that short sellers were using to show these things definitely going to the trash. Why? Because a type of investors will start looking at this and see value into buying AMC stock for an investment and not necessarily for a trade. But that is good for us because it adds to the buying pressure. Now, what is really interesting is when you look at the price action today, I mean, people will tend to say that it's because AMC is part of the Russell 2000 and it's now breaking this pattern where it's supposed to go, negatively because of the beta. Well, we thought at the time that it was supposed to follow the market because the beta negative, was totally broken. Okay, the pattern was not working anymore. But what happened if even with the Russell 2000, which AMC is highly weighted, is going down? It shouldn't necessarily mean that this should go down, especially with the big news we had, because it means business is doing pretty good and it's supposed to do good, for the coming months, especially when you look at Cinemark. Cinemark is another competitor. It's a competitor of AMC and also part of the Russell 2000. But look, today they gained almost 6% on the same news. On the same news plus the news we had on Friday around the Merck vaccine, the Merck pill coming out by the end of this year. I mean, you definitely see how things are not lining up here because, if it wasn't for the manipulation, it doesn't make any sense, right? But this doesn't change any damn thing to what we need to do. Continue to buy if you can afford to, and continue to hold, especially if you are here since January or whatever time you may be here. At least that's what I'm doing. So